Top secret stuff here. Middle of the night.
Never have it been made so clear.
And the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the poke chair under it. Scroll down, look at the poke chair under it.
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown letter.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young in the building. We bringing it to you live. We hear people talking on the line about the extraterrestrial stuff. When we was coming out with it, they were saying that we was crazy. They were saying Young was making shit up. But now it's all starting to come out. You know, we're putting all the receipts out to let you know we've been running the game. We started running the game about around 1970, about around 1969, 1970. And we've been running the game ever since. Right? Freedom Master Teacher, Dr. Malachi Z York. I've been a political prisoner since 2002, right? May 2002. And his birthday is coming up in about 12 days. You know what I'm saying? Right about if you're coming up into the building, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We're here tonight to talk to you about the reptilians. Everybody's asking questions, man. What about the reptilians? Who's the original owners of the planet? How many different reptilian species are there? By the way, you can read the holy tablets for free in the links in the descriptions after the show. Just click on the description, scroll down, you'll see at the bottom it'll say the holy tablets by the Master Teacher, Dr. Malachi Z York. You click on that, you can check those joints out. If you want to get more books by the Master Teacher, you can go online, some of them on Amazon and Scribe. And if you're in the Atlanta area or the Carolina area, you can go to the All Eyes on Me Culture Center. All Eyes on Egypt Culture Center in Stone Mountain. That's the one in Atlanta. And I think they got one in another spot in Atlanta, like on the outskirts. I can't remember the name of that city that it's in. Maybe somebody could drop it in the chat. But the one in Carolina ran by Sister Aminette. Yeah, man. So we're here to take your questions on the reptilians. Everybody, the storyline that they give, we hear a lot of people talking, saying that the reptilians said that they don't know where they come from. They just got dropped off here in the Milky Way galaxy. And that's not true. That's not true. The reptilians were engineered species from the birds. Now, in order to understand extraterrestrials, to understand them, the science of understanding them is here on Earth in Mother Nature. Now, if you look at the birds lay eggs. The birds lay eggs, right? Reptilians lay eggs. What other animal lays eggs on the outside of their body, like a turtle? Reptiles. That's why we wanted to get into the zoo type tape, but we had to do this tape first so we can break all this down. The food chain, right? Carnivores, herbivores, omnivores. Uh, but not all reptilians eat meat. We're gonna get into that too, though. But most of them do, right? Uh, but here, the reptilians were drafted out of the birds by the Anunnakis. Now, when I say the Anunnakis, people gonna say, "Oh yeah, well, you know, we don't like the Anunnakis. We're against the Anunnakis." Now, at the time when they did this particular experiment, slicing the DNA out of the birds to create these reptilians, they wasn't even called the Anunnakis at that time. They weren't even. They were called. They had several other names, but one group that was with them was called the Diners. Now, what do you do at a diner? Think about that. What do you do at a diner? A group of reptilians who are evoluted into humans called the Diners. What do you do at a diner? Put that together. Think about that. But these extraterrestrials, they can be classified as Plateians, a whole bunch of names they'll be called before they came for the operation of the gold operation, where a new sun beings down to Key, and then they became known as the Anunnakis. But before then, they had several other names. One of the names they referred to them as the ancient, these ancient people, right? And when the reptilian slicing was done, it was done as a countermeasure. This is why the food chain exists. Now, so the oldest race or the oldest creature type species is the insect race. The insect race is the oldest race besides these Anunnaki or these ancient people, because these ancient people engineered the insects, right? So the insect was the first race, and then once the insects start overpopulating so much, what they then did is created a race to countermeasure and control the insects. And keep in mind, these people don't know everything like you think. They came up just like you came up. They had to learn. They got billions of years ahead of you, but they had to learn the same way you learn. They had to crawl before they walk. But they created these insects. Then in order to countermeasure these insects, they then created the bird race next. Now, if you study in Mother Nature, what do birds eat? They eat insects, worms. They go for the worm. Some of the birds, but a lot of them eat insects. Like different types of flies or whatever have you. Birds eat it. So you see that in nature of how what was created to countermeasure the next time. Now the birds wasn't aggressive enough. The bird race. There were two bird races, extraterrestrial bird races. It was actually three. It became three once they created the first two. The one was the blue avians. They were the benevolent race, the seraphims, angels, because angels have different types of faces for you religious guys in here that say, "Oh, you talking crazy." But when you read your Bible and Revelations, they tell you that some of the angels, one of them had a face like an eagle. They talking about these bird race beings. They said one had a face like an ox. They talking about these centaurian beings. We'll get into them too. And then they said one had a face like a man, meaning some of these extraterrestrials look humanoid. Some of these angels look humanoid. And then they said another one had a face like a lion. That means some of these beings look like felines. Now, if you go to ancient Kemet, all these different prototypes is already seen on the wall. And Bastet being a feline, having a feline head. The bird heads dealing with Ra, who is really Amun, Murdoch, and Haru, and Khonsu, and Montu is really Amun, the same person. These different beings, Tahuti having a bird head. So they talk about these bird being in the heavens in Revelations having a bird head. I'm really going into the zoo type tape a little bit, but whatever, however it go, however they let it, the spirits, the ancestors let us go tonight. Uh, but they talk about this in the Bible, like I say. So, but these are beings are considered angels, extraterrestrials, beings that live in heaven, like you say, right? So they had different types of faces. So, like I say, the one that had the face like a bird is these blue avian beings. And it was three different races. One was a cherubim, like I say, the blue avians. The other one was one was a seraphim, the blue avians. The cherubims were called the canaries, the canary race. They were the disagreeable ones, the ones that chose to join on with Hala when he started to go against the Murdoch, right? And Tanush. Some of them fought with Tanush because these beings, these bird race beings, are older than Tanush now, because they made these bird race and these insect beings when they was in the Pegasus galaxy. You gotta get my tape and an Anarchy playlist called The Family Journey, and we break a lot of this down in detail. All this like with pictures and everything. All right. Now, one of the head scientists that was doing this slicing with the insects and the bird race, her name was Mother Huber. This is Anu's Raziel's sister. And Anshaw, who was Anu's father, this is his daughter, who was the head scientist. Once Anu became the ninth Anu, he made his chief scientist Mother Ninti, who becomes Hathor in ancient Kemet, who surrogate the first human being in ancient Kemet. They tell that part, but it goes back to the Anunnaki storyline when they was on Mars trying to upgrade the human from Homo erectus to Homo sapiens. We can get into that. We're really going into the reptilian conspiracy, though. Now, keep in mind, we getting down to when Anu them came here, there were people already here, the reptilians, and that were different species. But we're going back to, I got to break down the part of how the reptilians came about, right? So when they created these bird race to counteract these insects to control them, the birds wasn't aggressive enough, to make a long story short. And so they had to create another race to help countermeasure the insects too. Because the insects outnumber everything. Look, if you look on your planet, hey, I'm gonna get to you, Commando. I'm gonna get to you, Commando. I'm gonna get to you, Commando. I'll think of it in a minute. It's on the tip of my head. I'll get to you. Let me build the story. So Mother Huber, when they created the bird to counteract the reptilians, to counteract the insects, because keep in mind the insects outnumber everything. The insects got the most numbers than humans, than any other species. The insects outnumber, and they multiply, lay more eggs, everything. So the insects really got the numbers here, right? And you begin to understand what the combustion engine and pollution and all that is all about. The insects is in on that because they thrive in this type of environment, right? The insects. But once they saw that the birds weren't aggressive enough, they end up saying we got to create another race to countermeasure them. So they created these race of Meldekians. They started to germinate their seed, and they germinated the seed first on a planet called Meldek. And so they created this like frog like race. They look like frogs or tadpole type beings. When they grow bigger, they got webbed hands and webbed feet, and they look like frogs without the shell. I call them Ninja Turtles, right? The Ninja Turtles. And they were supposed to be a warrior type race. They were supposed to fight against the insects, and they were doing a good job. And I'm about to find that out for you, Commando. I'm about to find that out for you. I'll get back with you on that, on the name translation in ancient Samaritan. Cause I think Baba put it in the holy tablets. I'm about to get back with you. I can get back with you on tomorrow night's class on that. Uh, yeah, but they create. If you look in the old Mother Nature right now, you will see that the reptilians or the frogs they eat insects in the food chain. The frogs, no, they show you the long tongue come out where they grab a spider, whatever insect may be. They fight. They going against the insects. The insects is a food source for them. So you see the reptilians come out of, but right behind the birds, and they lay eggs, and they go. They eat. They countermeasure the reptilians. I mean, the uh countermeasure the insects. And some birds eat reptilians like snakes, like the eagles eat snakes and stuff like that. The hawks and that thing. That's right. UTL, you on point. You see that? The symbolics. The dragonfly, the insects were first, then the birds, then the reptilians got drafted out of the birds. All right. So that was the countermeasure of these insects because and they weren't called the Anunnakis at this time. The ancients, they were fighting against these their own creation that they created was overpopulating and taking up, about to overthrow them, and they eventually did for overthrow them and kicked and populated so big that where they left the Pegasus galaxy and came to this galaxy. That's how a new Nim family got to what they call in the Milky Way galaxy. They didn't call it that because people say, you mean to tell me a goddamn galaxy is named after a Milky Way? I mean, a candy bar? Keep in mind, they had, before that candy bar came out, they was already calling this galaxy the Milky Way before that candy bar even came out. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man. So they named the candy after the name of the galaxy. Right? All right, so just keep an eye on nature as we telling you this. All right. So eventually over time, when Mother Huber got the credit for the creation of the reptilians, and they started thriving, and they was doing good at containing these insects. Mother Huber kind of was jealous of what was going on with the transition of her brother becoming the Most High. She felt like women should have been in charge and running things. She was like one of them type of women, you know what I'm saying? And when she figured out that, hey, I could use these reptilians as my own military. She started slicing and creating different types. And so she had a water. She already had a water, like a Navy type reptilians for her military. So she wanted to create a land type reptilian, and then she wanted to make them poisonous, right? So what she did is she went and got some plant race beings that's poisonous plants, and crossbred them with these reptilians, and now you got poisonous serpents, snakes that can bite you. They got poison. That came from Mother Huber crossbreeding the poisonous plants that they got from Vega with these reptilians into their DNA to make them poisonous. So now a snake can bite you with venom and poison you because of her mixture. And because of, like I say, she was making that part of her military to make them more aggressive and poisonous. These Leviathan snake serpent type beings, the big Leviathan serpent type beings. So that was her first thing, to add the poison. And then and make her ground army. And then she said, I need an air army. So what she did is to make these dragon type or these dragonian type creatures with the wings, she then crossbred the birds back in with the reptilians to now create a flying type serpent. So now you got flying serpents, you got serpents that go underwater, and you got serpents that go on land that spit fire, which is the poison from these plants that she crossbred them with, these vegas. Because the plants are one of the oldest race in the galaxy. The plant race. That's the extraterrestrials. It wasn't no plants like that here because this planet Key was or Tiamat, it's called Made in the Water, was covered with water. It really wasn't no vegetation here besides like the single cell amoebias and some of the algae that was here prior to the Anunnakis getting here. Now The Anunnakis didn't come on. This is way before the 500,000 years where they came back later, and there was an evoluted species of reptilians here from Inkinum side. Inkinum wasn't even born yet during this time when Mother Hoover and them came to this galaxy, right? Inkinum wanted because somebody was asking that question: how did Alelu get his DNA sliced with these reptilians? Now you talking about billions of years going by because these people are on a different time schedule than you. One year to them now is what 3,600 years. At one point, 1 year to them was 25,000 years for 1 year and some change. So you're talking about different time frames, and these people can time travel and go back and forth in time. So it can get real confusing being in the human car trying to understand the time frame of the angels and the gods. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. Nah, that ain't my profile. That ain't my PayPal. My PayPal is D Young Elder. By the way, if you're just not tuning in and you want to get those 8 books by the Young Elder, we still got the book deal going on for $40 donation to the Cash App or the PayPal. Leave your emails and the links. We'll send you all 8 books over by the Young Elder. The Ascension Manual, which is the hot joint that everybody talking about. We got if you like this class, you might like the Book of Extraterrestrial Volume 1, which we go by 800 different species in that book. And then we got the Dream Scroll, the Scroll of Eyes Volume 1, the Hustles Manual Volume 1, the Orion Group book, the Language of the Birds book, right? And the Galactic Family of Life Volume 1 book. You want to get those books, like say 8 books, $40 for the whole month. We letting that go. And the emails and the links. Now, Mother Hoover created the poisonous snakes. Then, like I say, she added the bird race back into them, crossbreeding, making now these flying race. So now she got a Air Force military race, which became known as the Dragonians, right? And then she got a ground army, and she got another type of army. Now, some of these beings got some of the seeds from them got placed on Tiamat. And this before like we're going way back, they got placed on Tiamat and they evoluted. And then some of them got taken and abducted. To make a long story short, eventually and taken to Cyrus once they had set up Cyrus. Because if you look in the sky, you got 3. How you could tell by the ages of the stars, it's 3 different phases of the suns in different colors. The 3 primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. But the fastest traveling color is blue. So when you see a blue star, that means that star is a young star. It just was born. It ain't an old star. It's a new star. Because all new stars burn blue, right? And so the ones in Orion's belt, that's blue stars, they really young stars. The ones in the Pleiades star system, the 7 stars, main stars that they talk about, these stars are new stars, just not being born. They're not old as your star. Your star is one of the oldest stars. That's why if you look on a galactical map, Earth is in the boondocks. We're on the outskirts of the galaxy. We're on the outskirts of this galaxy. We're in the boondocks. And the farther your star is on the outskirts, the older your star is. A lot of the older stars is on the outside of the galaxy because stars is being generated every day from the center star. From the center star. As it spins, it sends off protons, or these protons and electrons, and they lock in together and create. So there's a thing that's your natural center sun is generating little suns off of it every day. Plus, there's extraterrestrials like the Anunnakis who have technology to create suns, artificial suns. And a lot of those blue suns that you see that you can see close to us, they were created by the Anunnakis. They were generated because they too far. We on the outskirts of the galaxy. Those stars wouldn't be born blue like that unless they came straight from the center. So that proves that they. Well, I got more proof to prove that the Anunnakis created those stars, and we might do a whole tape on that. But those stars shouldn't be blue stars. Now, if you look in the Orion, it says, if the Anunnakis are these advanced, brilliant scientists, instead of using soul flesh people as slaves. Why did anarchists create an AI? They did that. They did that. I can get into that too, but I don't want to get sidetracked. Could you save your question? Hey, could you save your questions to about like another 20 minutes? Save your questions to another 20 minutes, and because they did create the AI, and AI almost took over too. They they've been fighting against they created some things called the replicas, and they created them as like helpers at first, but then they created them so intelligent that they learned how to take over and do their own thing, and they went out and set up and took up a whole star system. These robots. What you think the Transformers is all about? The Transformers come from a planet. You know who put them people together? Metatune. Metatune, the 11th Elder, created a thing called the cube, the all spark cube, to generate these beings. But I don't want to get sidetracked because I want to break down the reptilian. So ask your questions with your super chat at the end because I appreciate you. But I'm gonna come back to them questions. But let me finish saying what I'm saying about the reptilians. All right, so yeah, some of them end up getting to Earth. Mother Hubert really placed them there because she was secretly building her military, and she eventually got her military. The only thing is, they were so ugly and creepy looking, they couldn't sneak amongst us, right? They couldn't sneak amongst us, and so really, to answer the people question, they said that who was the original owner of the planet? The reptilians really are the original owners. Or really, you can't even really say them. You can say the universe is the original owner. For real, the way Anu put it when I asked him about it. But the reptilians were here first, the Dragonians, and that's Inky's side of the family, which is why Inky has rightful heir to the planet. He's really a prince. Inky's really the prince to Key. Inky means ruler of Key, right? Ruler of, that's what Inky means, ruler of Key, ruler of Earth. What you calling Earth right now? Earth just really means dirt. Really have nothing. It's really, so if I don't know why they calling it Earth, right? Because Earth just really means dirt, and the planet is made up of 70% water. So it shouldn't be called Earth. It should be something in reference to water, because ain't much. It's more dirt. I mean, more water than it is dirt here. We could get into that too. Yeah, Metatune incarnated as Enoch. That was one of his incarnations, Adapha. He had a couple of incarnations that I could go, but you know, we don't want to get sidetracked. That was one of his incarnations. Metatune is my brother. I'm telling you, galactically, we always roll together. Me and Metatune. That's the 11th elder, right? The 11th and the 15th and the 23rd that we always roll together. I'm telling you, in the laboratory on at Riz Tech. So, to make a long story short, like I said about the stars, the older stars, the blue star, then once that star begins to cool off, it turns yellow, and then from yellow to red. That's the three primary colors. And once you see a red star, like Betelgeuse, now if you look up Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse is in the Orion star system. It's one of the oldest stars in that star system. But that star is not a generated or artificial star. But the stars in Orion's belt, they mostly all artificial stars that's created by the Anunnakis. But that Betelgeuse was the only star. If you look up all the red stars in that star system, you'll see, okay, this star was here first. If you look up the Centaurian, it's not the Centaurian, it's the Centaurian. Look up the Centaurian star system and look up red stars in that star system. Them the stars that was generated by the center sun. But then if you see any blue stars right now, them stars that were created recently by the Anunnakis. And the Anunnakis is not just one race. When I say Anunnakis, you automatically get a new Enlil inking them in your head. You don't get, they had reptilians with them. They had Nomos with them. They had the Naga race or humanoid Naga race, which is really your people, the Washita in the future. In the future, and so look, that's like imagine Earth in 2029, or United States, what they call the United States of America in 2029. Now imagine they already got time travel, right? Right during that time. Imagine if the people then coming back now and observing us. And they coming back in these cigar type crafts and they calling themselves the Natharus, the gods, right? Really what they mean. Yeah, they got these cigar shaped crafts and they coming back from the future to visit you, but it's really you. It's really you in the future coming back to visit you in the past type of thing. Sort of hard to explain. And they coming back and they landing on US bases and they warning them, telling them, they coming in a mile long craft. We got tapes on it, man. Go back and check out we the first one that put out a black extraterrestrial documentary. Everybody been on Ashtar Command. Speaking of Ashtar Command, we'll get into that too. Ashtar Command. Yeah, but here we go. Yeah, so you notice those stars like that, like I say. Now, over time, these Dragonians were here, a certain type of reptilian even before they became Dragonians. Certain type of reptilians were here. Now, some people got time jumped, like these Naga beings. They got time jumped and took to another galaxy. And then over time, they come back like 66 billion years ago. That's why if you read the Holy Tablets, it'll give you different dates. And you're saying, damn, this date right here is like 500,000. But Murdoch, how old is Murdoch? Because Murdoch was driving the Nubaru craft when it crashed into Meldick. That's 24 billion years ago. But then in the one part, it says that, oh yeah, well, a Newton came here 500,000 years ago to Key. So they really so did they ever come to Key and land on Key until after that 500,000 years ago? So the time frames is dealing with these people could time travel. So that's another thing you got to look at, because we stuck in the time lapse or the photon type thing, built type thing. Yeah, but eventually, to make a long story short, these Hindus were drafted, these humanoid Hindus who were Naga beings that got time jumped to another galaxy. They actually got took to the Centaurian star system, and then something happened there where they got into a beef, and part of them split, broke off, went to the Rajal, and when they got to Rajal, they had a nuclear war against each other. And the ones that won, they stayed on the planet, but they suffered from a defect, and that's why some of them Greys were coming here looking for like cures for their people, because they suffer from a disease like a radiation disease, and that's why. And some of them get their crabs shot down by the government, but they took part of them, broke off and went to another galaxy and landed in a galaxy called the Procon star system, also called Nirvana, and they began evolving there into a humanoid type species based on the stars that they were under, because the Procon star system is a white and a huge yellow star. But eventually, some of them beings, 66 billion years, some of the time went by to where they end up coming back here to land on the moon and land on Pluto and begin mixing in with these it was Mother Hoover's idea to mix these guys in with these reptilians or these Dragonians to make them look more humanoid looking, because she wanted them to infiltrate us, and they couldn't infiltrate us looking like reptilians. They had to become looking more humanoid. So if you look through the Holy Towers, you'll see pictures of these reptilians begin to look more human, especially Inky's granddad and then Inky's mother. Inky mothers look like a human, but her dad looked like maybe 30% human, 70% reptilian. Yeah, that's the name of it, Zero. The name of the place that they came from, these Hindus, these Naga beings, these Leviathan priesthood guys, right? Who hooked up with the Nomos, those who claim to know the most. But when she crossbred them with the humanoid looking beings, so they became looking more human. This created the Tanush type, the Hindus with the straight hair and dark skin, but they really Dragonians, right? And they the ones that Mother Hubert used to try to infiltrate Saturn, because the Anunnakis had their base before they became known as the Anunnakis. They had their base, their first base or the second base when they came to this galaxy. They set it up on the planet Saturn. Saturn was their home planet, right? And then it didn't even have the rings around it then. The rings come about from the reptilians blowing up all their stuff, blowing up blowing up the different moons that was around it, and they created that dust particle that locked it into its galaxy when it because Saturn spins at a certain speed. It spins at a certain speed, like faster than Earth, and Jupiter spin faster than Earth. But what happens is once they was able to infiltrate Saturn, at the same time they was infiltrating another spot that they had set up called Risk, and eventually through a program called the Exchange Program, these people were allowed to come to their planet Risk, and they were allowed to be on one continent under strict guidelines, and pretty much like a student exchange program. You know how like when like they send students from America over to China, they send 10 students over from America to China, right? And they send 10 Chinese over to America to go to school. It's called a student exchange program. Well, that's what went on with how Todd Nushnam ended up getting on to Risk. And eventually he wanted to take over the place. This was your story you get about Lucifer wanting to take over the whole place. This was Tanush, the old devil, the old serpent called the devil, the Nakash, that's really just means whisper, the whisperer. But his name was it starts with an S. I'll think of it in a minute. But Tanush was one of his names, and he was a leader of these Dragonian humanoid reptilians. And they chose to blow a hole in the ozone layer of Riz to try to take Riz down. And they eventually succeeded in blowing holes in the ozone layer. Right? He knew we all believe anything. That spaceship coming out of the sky. Hey, Golden Child, what you trying to say? Nubaru is Neb Haru. Yeah, Neb Haru is one of my homeboys. Well, hey, I'm gonna. You say one more thing, I'm gonna boot you out and block you. You say one more thing. Now I ain't getting mad because you in here. You a clown. Like this, like the stuff that we talking about. It's already widely known. It's widely known. Like it's on the walls of ancient Kemet. It's in the ancient Sumerian tablets. It's in the Bible. I mean, ain't no getting around it. It's some truth to it. So you don't gotta. It's just you might be a earthling, or you might have animal blood. You might have Reese's monkey blood, so you can't grasp what we saying. But don't come in here fucking around. He said, "I'm an agent." Okay, all right, yeah. Hey, let's show this cat where we from. So you coming to hit the shoot shots, you just got your ass blocked. You just got your ass booted right off into space with no goddamn spacesuit, nigga. Your eyes pop right out of your goddamn head. Now get the hell up out of here. And don't come back no more. Don't come back no more. You just coming in here to you a demon. Coming in here to disrupt. So you just got the boot right in your crack of your ass. Get the hell up out of here. You can't comment no more. Unsubscribe. Get the fuck out of here. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Boom, nigga. Goodbye. That's what we do to clowns. Now, as we proceed to give you what you need, we ain't got time for clowns. He's a goddamn agent. You know what I'm saying? You believe anything your ass here, nigga. The fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Like them niggas say in New York. Get the fuck out of here. I'm telling you, that's their last little punchline right there in New York. Right, get this nigga the fuck out of here. How you gonna throw shots at the God? Nigga, your arms ain't long enough, nigga. Fuck out of here. But go look in nature, nigga. You'll see what I'm talking about. Nigga. Hold up, run that back up. Run that back. We ain't got time for sidetrack. We 40 minutes in. Hey, Commando, you don't got to super chat the question, but ask the question again so I can see it. Oh, it says, if the anarchies are these advanced, brilliant scientists interested in using soul-flesh people as slaves, why did anarchies create AI menu? They did create the robots. They had robots out here working too. They had robots working alongside the humans. And it's the thing like this. What if you were really a robot? What you think the gray aliens are? They really robots and androids. They are biological robot. You a biological robot. Okay, let me get that. Let me get into that. Okay, so if you could create a robot, right? And let's say you want that, you leave, and that robot gonna have to have maintenance done to it. But the anarchists didn't want to have to do maintenance to nothing. They wanted to be able to leave and go off 3,000 or 5,000 years and come back and see that the program's still going. So they created biological robots, biological beings, entities to work like a robot. Pretty much, it's really technically you more advanced than a robot. So what you mean when you say advanced? You way more advanced than a robot. They gave you an immune system. Right, we have reason to believe that immune system was could have been already, like, it was several things that the Homo erectus already had. The Homo erectus already had before the anarchists updated them, and then they stepped in and took stuff out and said that we got to make a more docile and loo type people. Yeah, he booted out from the space. Yeah, but just think about that though, Commando. That you are more. The anarchists created something way more advanced than AI. They created a living being. They didn't. I don't think they created the. They actually didn't create them from scratch. Like I said, they actually upgraded what was already here. At this time when they came back looking for the gold. Now this is way after Inky was born. All that. These are beings that kept evoluting, and they one name they was known as, like I say, is a Homo erectus, and there was several different species of these beings. But it was Inky's idea to upgrade these beings. It was and there was the like I say, Tahuti and Mother Ninti, his sister, is the ones that helped him, and like several other people stepped in to help him on this project. Now Murdoch didn't step in. Why? Because he knew that it was against Anu. This is why Murdoch said that Inky went against Anu by not getting permission to create those humans, and he did several other things too. He really his Dragonian side, his Dragonian nature made him go against his father on a lot of stuff. Inky. Now Enlil, on the other hand, took orders from his father, but he did shit against his father too, because he the one approved Inky them to go ahead and do it. See the reason why Enlil become your Yahweh or your Lord God who walks in the cool of the day is because he was the one put over the project, because he was the rightful heir. Inky was considered like the housemaid. His mother was considered like a handmaid, just like Hagar to Abraham. So Inky mother didn't want Inky's mother and him to get the birthrights. So when Inky came back, when he got caught stealing the gold and they put him back on Nuru, they got kicked off, and Anu had to send them back to Earth. They don't tell you about that part in the timeline, that Inky got banned off of Nubaru because of Enlil's mother. Enlil's mother, Atum, didn't want them to get just like the same storyline with and like I say, Anu didn't want to kick him off, but it was like that thing, that same type of thing with Abraham. And he just said he sent, but when he sent Inky back to Earth, he sent him with a whole bunch of stuff, like a whole entourage, right? With a whole entourage. Enlil's a crybaby, man. I'm telling you. Inky's a crybaby. But the Mother Huber is the leader. That's why in reptilian clans, the mother or the queen, and even in insect clans. In insect clans, the queen, we can go into the matriarch. In insect clans, the queen is really the leader of the insect clans. Like an ant bed, the queen is the leader, and the queen lays all the eggs. And then in a beehive, the queen is the main thing. So it seems like in the insect kingdom and in most of the reptilian kingdom, the female or in a reptilian, they could change their nature too. Some reptilians can change their nature from female to male. Uh, but it seems like in the reptilian kingdom, and especially in the galactics, the queen is ruling. Even down here, when they got the Queen of England, she was the queen. Was this the queen that the queen for a long time, right? Until she passed away. So that's why the Mother Hubert is instrumental in why the queen is the head of the insects and the reptilians. And they call her the mother queen, the mother reptilian, or the mother queen. That's what these reptilians call her. And she used them to fight and attack the Anarchies after they got through attacking it. And some of the insects joined on with them. Pretty much a third of the heavens, 1/3 of the heavens, meaning 1/3 of different types of extraterrestrials joined on with what we would classify from our perspective as the bad guys. Now, from their perspective, we the bad guys. And then from somebody else's perspective, they may say, oh, both of y'all are bad guys. The third guy that's sitting in the middle saying both of y'all are bad guys. Oh, yeah, sometimes these guys are good. Sometimes these guys are good. They call them the neutral zords. That's the thing that y'all missing, the information, the school of Mark Brady. They talk about the good and the bad, but they don't talk about what sits in between. They talk about hot and cold, but never mention warm. You know what I'm saying? It's always three things in this three-dimensional world. This whole universe is based off three. See, only. Yeah. It says see them only. Okay. Hey, yeah. See, okay, all right. Another thing about those drugs that you take, you talking about acid and all that. They come from different plants. Once you understand plants, and then you understand the body, don't need the plants. The body is the plant, right? All you got to do is know how to activate those hormones. All right, so you got a hormone in your body called dopamine, right? You got hormone in your body called serotonin. Women got estrogen. Man got man got testosterone. You got adrenaline, the adrenaline gland right above your liver, I think. Right? So these different glands in your body release certain hormones. What is a hormone? Sound. So hormones are liquid sound. So your brain, if you hit certain notes, and so a lot of people do drugs to do this, but you don't need drugs to get high. It's more than one way to get high. You can get high off being around somebody you love. That's why they say, oh, we got chemistry. That chemistry is when they talk to you and be around you, they can release dopamine. They make you release dopamine. They make you laugh. Comedians can make you release dopamine. Comedians can activate certain hormones in your body to make you laugh, make you feel happy. There are certain foods out here, like ice cream, which niggas don't like ice cream because they say, oh yeah, it's the cow milk and sugar, and you can get into that, right, from our healthy niggas. You know what I'm saying? But ice cream is considered what they got these things called aphrodisiac. Coconut, chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate is considered as aphrodisiacs. And what these aphrodisiacs do is when you take them or go into your body, it releases certain hormones, whether it be dopamine, serotonin, probably have to do some shit like caffeine. Caffeine is supposed to release the adrenaline. But now your brain is what tells these different liquid sounds, is what I call them, different liquid sounds to be released. Now, so what if you had control over your brain to release those different chemicals when you thought about it. And you do. You do. You see what I'm saying? You do have this drunken love. Drunken love. And you can actually feed off of this. You can feed off of this. Some people can get hurt and they won't even eat for days. Why people can go days without eating? When you tell them to fast, they can't fast for 24 hours. But when they get hurt and they get their heart broke, they go days without eating or drinking or nothing. Some people, what is that? Yeah, that's right. LL99. That's another hormone that's released. So, like, I wrote about this in the Ascension Manual. If you want to get the Ascension Manual, like I say, we get all 8 books for $40 donation to the Cash App. It's different. Look up the hormones that released in the brain. Now, these are different like I say, all those different good high dollar words they got for it sounds good. Melatonin is another one, I think. Yeah, melatonin. Did we mention melatonin? Melatonin is another one. LL9. Melatonin is what help you go to sleep. It will help you relax. Melatonin heals your organs, right? So these are different hormones in the brain that your body naturally release. Now, when your body get tired and you exhausted, your brain say release melatonin, and so your brain release melatonin, and then your body automatically shut down. There's nothing you can do about it. When your brain, and then the more you fight it, you could get high. You could get high like that. Like the more you can, just by fighting sleep, you can get high. Just by study fighting sleep and just fighting it. Your body, the longer you fight it, your body gonna keep releasing melatonin to try to get your body to shut down so your organs can rest. So your body gonna keep doing that melatonin till you sleep, till you fall asleep. That's how a lot of people die coming home driving their car at night, or coming home late night from some place where they already really sleeping exhausted, and their brain kick on and say melatonin, and they just start producing melatonin. Now, some people to counteract it, they'll stop and get them a cup of coffee, some Red Bull, a 5 hours energy shot, which is fucking dangerous as hell. That's like suicide right there. 5-hour energy shots. That's a suicide, because them shits make you. It's a whole bunch of side effects to that. But a lot of people, to stay up, they'll get out, pull over and get out, jump in place, get their blood back going. That'll work for a little while, but once the melatonin is already in your system, boy, your body's saying shit down, shit down, shit down, shit down. Some people stay up till they fall asleep, till they stay up long as they can, till their body they end up sleeping with the foam out the mouth, any kind of way. They fall asleep any kind of way. They fall asleep at the table with they both facing the cereal, because they body didn't release, their brain said shut down, telling your body to shut down, and they release so much melatonin to where you be high. You be so high, you just go out. And it'll release dopamine too. Dopamine is another thing that makes you relax. It makes you a lot of people, they use dopamine to think. My little bro Faye say people are playing to the dope god. Dopamine is a dope god. A Maui means Maui, right? You gotta check that clip out about Phase, right? Shout out little bro Phase. Yeah, but like I say, you don't gotta. It's more than one way to get high. Some people get money. When they get money in their hand, because money has an energy on it. Money is a currency. Currency. You got DC, right? Direct current, alternate current, and then you got current C, which is the third current. Because we told you there's always 3 here. The third one is the current C, and they using money as an energy. And it's dealing around maritime water, right? The money is dealing around the water, and the water is dealing around the moon. The moon controls the water. Money is dealing with the moon. Money is the moon god. Money is the moon god. I'm telling you. But going back to what I'm saying is, when people get money in their hand, certain hormones get released in their body, and it's like a rush for them. So some people. So, like when certain people jump out of airplanes, certain Caucasians, our Caucasian counterparts, when they jump out of the plane, they get a rush, they get dopamine, they get adrenaline pumping. They like adrenaline a lot. They like to get pumped up. You pump me up, I pump you up, you pump me up. Now the pumping up part is the adrenaline, right? Which is what the reptilians were interested in, the adrenaline chrome from the little children. And how that work is while we speaking on the reptilians, is that when you get a fear, when your body say fear, goosebumps, or afraid, or fear for my life, your a certain thing kick on in your brain that sends a signal to your adrenaline gland, which is above your liver, and it releases this serum, this liquid. It's a liquid, really. It's a liquid that releases in your body. I call it liquid sound, right? It's a liquid, and it's each hormone or each of these sounds or these fluids is tuned to a certain frequency. The adrenaline has a certain frequency on it. The dopamine is a downer. The melatonin is a set downer. So it has a certain frequency on it. It has a lower frequency. The melatonin and these things have different frequencies they different frequencies of sound that's released in the body, and it's dealing with the chakras too. We can get into that. We can make the cross reference. But once this liquid sound, what I'm being adrenaline, is released, which is a high frequency, that puts you into this mode where you damn near become Superman. It gives you extra strength. It wakes you up. It makes you alert. Cause like I didn't got shot before, and adrenaline made me run all the way to the house. And adrenaline also cut off the pain, because pain really is dealing with the nervous system, and pain has to be pain is goes. It's a process. When you get a like a scratch or something or a cut, if you don't know it's there, you might not even feel it. So somebody say, "Hey man, you bleeding," and then you look at it, right? And you say, "Damn," or you later on you feel like a burn sensation happen, and then you look at it, you pay attention to, "Damn, I got cut." You might not even know you got cut at some times until you then niggas look at it and say, "Oh, damn it, the pain," and the pain hit their brain, because the nervous system has to respond to that. The nervous system says, "Oh, this part is injured." It's just like say you got a plane or something, and then it get a hole in the side, and then the lights start flashing dun, 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 on the front of the dash on the planes, telling you there's a hole, the breach in the thing. Well, your body works the same way with the nervous system. The nervous system says it's a breach right here on your skin, and it sends a signal to your brain, and your brain then opens that mail up, and it says pain in the right arm. But what they do is they get created drugs to where you can take them now, and they call them pain relievers. You can take them, and what that do is it cut your brain off from receiving the mail from your nervous system, saying that it's pain in your teeth or it's pain here, right? So that drug, all it does is block the receptors from opening up that mail. They're saying that pain, and that's what I was getting into with these different hormones. When the adrenaline go in, it can cut off the nervous system and say, "Don't worry about that pain. You got to stay alive. You got to survive." A lot of people die when they get shot. It's because they panic, and adrenaline kick in, and the adrenaline will speed your heart rate up and cause you to bleed out faster. So the monks and people like that, they know how to control the monks. They sit there and study and go through different processes to learn how to release these different hormones naturally through just meditation and different things that they do to release these hormones. The masters know how to do it. And once you learn how to do this, you can be able to, once you know how to release certain hormones like dopamine and melatonin, you can actually slow your heart rate down and learn how to breathe longer underwater. We're gonna go back to all this once they leave us alone. Once they kick rocks, run that land, run that goal, and leave us alone, we're gonna go back to all this shit. We used to grow limbs, we used to grow arms using these different techniques with the like what makes you gotta think about it. Okay, what makes your body heal? What heals your body? Somebody drop it in the chat. The white blood cells, right? What are white blood cells and red blood cells? We got to get into that, man. There's just a lot of shit that I know we all over the place. We're supposed to talk about reptilians. We done went all over the place here. So we'll be talking about the reptilians. But the white blood, the cells are use regeneration, right? The white blood cells is what go and stitch you up. Now imagine if you could take control of your white blood cells and make them heal you faster. This is what about to happen. All this is about to happen, but they've been trying to prevent it with all they extra, they jabbing niggas like Ali. We gotta say it like that. They was jabbing the hell out of niggas, right? Trying to slow the process down of the evolution. See, we evoluting to living souls, and they trying to slow that process down. Why? Because they use certain people as food. These guys, it's part of the food chain. But to answer the question of the topic, what is the reptilian conspiracy? The reptilian conspiracy is they want to make you think that all reptilians are bad. Not all reptilians were bad. Even a certain group of that's a group of Dragonians. That was Inky and them people. Inky and them people were Dragonians, and they were benevolent beings. And when they disagreed. Inky's, they said that Inky's disagreeable nature actually comes from the Anunnaki side, his Anunnaki side, because these beings, according to what Pop said in the Holy Tablets, that they didn't agree that these reptilians were agreeable, and that they really didn't want to do business with the Anunnakis because they knew the Anunnakis were disagreeable, and eventually the Anunnakis end up using nuclear style weapons on their planet. And that's why they got kicked off. That's why the Anunnakis got kicked off the planet. Until later on, they had to come back and fix what they messed up. Now, Enlil, Inky was more creative and more of a type of guy that was pretty much his own guy. Like, he built a lot of stuff. Like as far as he was a fashioner, he was a person that liked to build, liked to create stuff. And his sons took that from him, like Murdoch and Tahuti, right? And Nergal, who was building bombs with his cousin Ninurtu to blow niggas up, blow niggas off into space. You know what I'm saying? Then Ninurtu and them was trying to blow niggas off into space, man. Yeah, but Inky was the type that did all the building and he was an inventor. Enlil was the one that just wanted to take the credit for everything, and he one of them niggas that grew up as a royal all his life. He grew up from a kid as being the guy, he the shit, and he walked around like that, like he walked around like ain't nobody better than me type of attitude. And he wanted to outdo his brother on this operation. That's what it came down to a competition between two brothers. And that shit, the brother competition go all the way back with Anu and his brother, Alelu, with Anshaw and his brother. They got into it. Anshaw had two brothers. He got into it with one of his brothers. That's what caused them to leave that galaxy that they left. Is called the Dietrich galaxy. This Dietrich galaxy, this shit was 6.4 billion light years in diameter. Now you gotta think about how big that is. Your galaxy right now, they call it the Milky Way galaxy, is 150 to about 200,000 light years in diameter. Now the closest galaxy to you is called the Andromedans, which is getting ready to join on with us. They about Andromedans is about maybe I think they had 4 trillion stars. It's about 4 or 5 times bigger than the Milky Way, right? It's about the Andromedans, which is about 2.4 million light years away. And then you got 6.4 billion light years in diameter compared to 150,000. That's a big difference. So this was a big ass huge galaxy that they came from. And we show it in this tape called They Found Ridge. We found Ridge. If you go back to that tape, is like on the I think on the live side. We're gonna be pulling that program up too, the Hubble program, to show you these different galaxies, right? It's billions and trillions of galaxies out there. If they want to limit, see, I hate people that come in like that dude that we just booted out, and he's so small-minded. Because like Earth is just only a grain of sand in the universe. It's less than a dot. It's less than a grain of sand in the universe. And so when you think that we alone in 96 billion miles just in your universe, 96 billion miles just in your universe, and then you could cross over after that to another side in a reverse universe, and there's just so much going on. It's just unlimited space. The universe is unlimited. There's no limit. As you can go forever and ever and ever, and you will never go to the end of this reality. And people say, "Oh no, there's no out there. There's no out there." Oh, all right. So then, if we in a dome, what the sun? Is the sun inside the dome? Is the moon inside the dome? Then becomes the question. And if it is, if the sun is inside this dome, how far is the sun away then? If we inside of a dome, or is the sun outside the dome? That's what I want to know. They say, "Oh, nobody's been out of space." Man, who told y'all that? We came from outer space, nigga. You got to be crazy. What you think? How you think light travel? Where is light traveling from? Where's that light traveling from? What is photon particles? You see, what people, these people, they forgot that there's beings that exist that you can't even see with the naked eye. You gotta go get a microscope to see them. Can you see an atom? Now, if I slap you around and knock you up, you might can see them floating around until you come back, your brain reset, right? But they're atoms. Where do the atoms come from? You think atoms are only on Earth? Come on, man. Like a lot of people just raised so. Some of these guys are newcomers coming onto the page, and we got 1,600 tapes out, and they way behind. They didn't watch the Ascension Manual class playlist. They didn't watch the Galactic Family of Life playlist where we got over almost 500 tapes. And keep in mind, everything I say, I got receipts. And I'm posting this. I'm posting all. I'm going back now because we weren't doing the receipts. We cutting going back, cutting all the receipts, posting them. We're going back posting all the receipts now. So we putting like 15 shorts out a day. The Adromatins is already it's already connected right now. Remember, I used to tell y'all the Adromatins were joining on with the Milky Way galaxy. Well, that's already happening now as we speak. Now, when would it be completely joined on with us? That might take a couple billions of years. But we already connected already. As far as the outskirts starting to connect. Now, if this happens a lot of times, galaxies collide and they join together and become a bigger galaxy. That's what happened with the galaxy Deidre and why it's like 6 point some billion light years in diameter. It's about 6 point. Take it back, not billion, it's a million. It's like a million, 6.4 million light years in diameter, not trillions. I mean, not billions. And that galaxy came about. Why? Because 2 or 3 galaxies joined on together. Like the Pegasus galaxy is really 2 galaxies, but they joining on together. A lot of galaxies join together and become a bigger galaxy. And that's what's happening with your Milky Way, which is why they set up the Andromedan star constellation, where it's like an intake for these beings to get introduced to this galaxy. For us to introduce and tie in, incorporate our rules and tie in and compare notes. Like might have certain rules in this galaxy that they might not have in that galaxy because the Andromedans really is an older galaxy. So they might have more stricter rules than we got, being that we are newer galaxy. Because we like kind of on the outskirts of this Big Bang thing. You know what I'm saying? It says pharaohs or Anunnakis. Yeah, some of the pharaoh joint, the pharaoh line and all that come down from Enki side through Murdoch and through Osiris, which is Enki's son, and Inanna and Enlil's side. Enlil's side was in there too, from Nanor and them, Baal. They got Baal. You can pull up Baal. They show you a statue of him with the bowling ball pin thing on his head. You know what I'm saying? Baal and Nanor is brothers. That's Enlil's son. Enlil's sons. Inanna is Enlil's granddaughter. Right? And she's Inanna, I think Nanor married. Hold on. Nanor married. I want to say he married one of Enki's daughters. I want to say. I'll think of it in a minute. But I think Inanna is Inky and kin to both sides too. But Inanna come down from Nanar. Is Nanar's daughter, Enlil's granddaughter. So a lot of y'all got Inanna's bloodline in y'all, right? But Inanna got reptilian too from Hela. Hela had Dragon reptilian in him, but Hela is Tanush's son, and he's half. Hela is a half and anarchy and Dragon reptilian. Yeah, so a lot of y'all come down from Inanna. Some of y'all come down from Osiris, Haru side. A lot of y'all come from. Some of y'all come from Hanuel side, which is really mixed in with Inky now. And Enlil, he got children with Enlil's side too, because Hanuel was Enlil's messenger. When that's why they say that Gabriel, another name for Hanuel is Gabriel. That's why they said that Gabriel was the messenger of God. He was the angel of God. When God sent a message, he sent it through Gabriel. Gabriel, another name for him is Jibrail or Hanuel. He was Enlil's messenger, like his poster boy or his mail guy. When Enlil said, go tell them I said such and such and such. And man, look, if you want to really figure out, it's a tape that I can't post on YouTube. I posted it on my Patreon called Enlil's Buck Breaker, where Enlil had this dude that had a 6 foot long follicus where he was stealing dudes' birthrights, because once you get your can open from the back, you unfit the rule. Once they bust your root chakra out, you unfit the rule. That was Enlil game, so nobody can overthrow him, right? Tiamat didn't blow up. Tiamat, well, I mean, you can say that. I'll let you say that part. But the whole thing didn't get destroyed though. But it was a real bad crash that you could probably say that was a blow up, because one of the crashes, one of the ships that was hooked into Nubaru force field that was driven by these Meldekians who had some explosive devices, and it's this explosive type of element called plutonium, which they later used to blow a moon off these beings. The plutonium is a highly explosive element. Yeah, Kansu is the bird. You got a bird head. That's Ma'at's. Kansu would be Murdoch's grandson, and he also connected with Anu. Anu being a son of Anu, but he's Ma'at. I'm not Ma'at Mud, which is Ma'at's twin sister, Murdoch's daughters. Murdoch had a daughter named Ma'at and a daughter named Mud with Mother Ninti, who is Hathor. And Mud is Kansu's mama. And they became, when we came back to this planet as Natharus or the Nitarus, right? For the second time, when we came back to do to clean up the genetical experiment that had happened and they was called the Orion group, right? It was one group that disagreed with Murdoch. One group didn't like Murdoch because Murdoch ruled with an iron fist, and they considered him as being real mean and aggressive, and he didn't take no shit, right? He didn't let nobody punk him or nothing, right? And so one group decided to go. Ra had set up strict guidelines for us, the new clan, and one group disagreed with him, and they split and became known. And Murdoch's daughter was one of the instrumental people who turned against him. Mud, not Mad Mud, her twin, turned against him and said that they didn't like the way their father was ruling, and they set up their own order called the Kentokra, where they went against the order of Amun Ra. And this order was set up during the time of the Aries the age of Aries. That's how you can trace the time back. Noah's flood took place during the time of the Leo age. That's when the planet rotated the last time. The pole shift happened in the Leo age. We in the keep in mind for you people that don't know about this. A lot of people should be up to speed. We're talking about the Aquarian. We in the Aquarian age now, and then we was just in the Piscean age, right? So if you go look up when was the Leo age, that's when the flood happened. Now, right before that, or after that, I think the Aries age came. That's during the time of Amun, which is how he got the ram head in ancient Kemet, because he ruled during the time of Aries, right? That's when Marduk ruled. Now, Enlil ruled during the time of the bull, of the Taurus age. And this is when they created the humans. During the they created they engineered the upgraded, so I say upgraded the Homo erectus to Homo sapien during the age of Taurus, which is why when you go to ancient Kemet and you see Mother Hathor sitting there, she got a bull she got a bull head horns on her head, and the sun disk is sitting there telling you that this sun or the age that we're in is the Taurus age of Taurus. So the humans were created in the upgraded in the age of Taurus. So all this shit is astronomy too. You could tie that into astronomy. It says the Leo age was 144,000 years ago. Ago. Or you asking a question in reference to the 144,000 years. Yeah, so yeah, you go back and get the Leo time. That's when the flood happened. And like I say, the Taurus age is before that, when they created the when Enlil ruled. And you go read the Bible. They say they came down, they worship a calf and all that. They was worshiping that age, the age of Taurus, right? The age of Enlil rule, when they was creating the humans to till the ground in Genesis chapter 6. I mean Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. Verse 2, right? It'd be Genesis chapter 2, where they go into creating the humans and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, say, are you a Leo, right? What up, Jalen Lewis? That's my guy, Jalen Lewis. Yeah, but to make a long story short on the reptilians, man, the reptilians are rightful heirs to the planet. Not all reptilians are bad. Well, we are dealing with one group who are the Dragonians from the Dragonian star system who migrated there, and now they saying that they rightful heirs to the planet, and technically they kind of right, but they the disagreeable side. They want to take they got other. They say they want to lay claim to the planet to say the humans are really belong to them, and they just and some of these particular beings, they eat humans, and so that's the real not only do they eat humans flesh, a particular group of them, a higher group of them, because it's different ascended groups of these beings. A higher group of them eat our energy from murder and death. These are the beings you call demons, right? You may call them demons, you religious guys, but they really bad extraterrestrials, cherub beings, right? These beings eat energy from. Go watch this movie called Odd Thomas, where these demons follow people around. They're about to commit murders or mass murders, or about to do a bomb threat or something like that. These demons follow them around, and they gather around to eat that energy from the blood being spilled on the ground. This is the same beings that came after Cain and caused him to hit his brother upside the head. And then when his brother got hit upside the head and he bled out on the ground, they stand around and just siphon that energy off his death, of him being murdered and brutal. That's why a lot of these brutal type murders go on, where somebody stabs somebody 2,475 times. Like, damn, that must have been personal. He sat there and stabbed a guy 400 times. She must have been that. He must have been real mad at that girl, right? To stab her that many times. But what it be them demons sitting there, and as he's stabbing her, they absorbing that energy, and they tell him they principalities too, and they putting in his head, keep stabbing her, because as she screamed, they absorb those screams. That's a movie I call Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. Well, these monsters go to this job every day, and they walk into a closet, walk through this machine, and walk out into a kid's room, and scare the shit out of them, and the kids scream, and then they trap that the sound of the kids scream and take it back to the monster world and use it for energy. You ain't ever seen that in Monsters Inc. They use that sound for energy. See, another thing that we neglected is how important sound is, and how it's right now being used as a weapon in the music industry against us as a people. And we created the sound. We are the sound beings. We come from the drum. That's why we stay on the beat when they stay off beat, right? But yeah, go watch that. Check out, like some of y'all already seen that movie Monsters Inc. Like I say, where they capture the kid's scream and then take it back to it's like part of their job to bring it back to this world so they can eat it and use it as fuel in their world. Yeah, man, this shit is crazy, but we've been on long enough, man. We about to get up out of here, man. Y'all, Wadu.